Hello, my friends. Welcome to Sleep with Stories. Tonight, as the world around us quiets down, let's take a few moments to let go of any lingering thoughts from the day. Find a comfortable place, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in. Feel your chest rise as you inhale, and then slowly exhale, releasing any tension. Imagine yourself in a peaceful setting, the soft rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze, the warmth of the evening sun, and the scent of fresh air surrounding you. With each breath, allow your mind to settle and embrace the calm, ready to drift into a peaceful, restful sleep. Breathe in deeply again, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. As each breath fills your lungs and leaves your body, allow your focus to deepen. Feel the soft pressure of your body against the bed, the way it sinks gently into the mattress, providing perfect support. With every subtle shift of your body, let the quiet stillness surround you. Pay attention to the sounds you can hear, the distant hums, the rhythmic ticking, or perhaps the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. Without labeling them, simply acknowledge their presence and let them guide you into a state of peace. Now, with your eyes closed, begin to drift slowly into your imagination. Picture yourself in a beautiful, timeless place, a city straight out of a fairy tale, full of charm and history. Welcome to this enchanted world where our story begins, in a magical city brimming with life and wonder. The streets of this ancient town are a mix of old and new. Long rows of houses, built with golden-hued stone and crowned with terracotta roof tiles, stretch out before you. As the late afternoon sun bathes everything in a warm, golden light, you take in the sight of everyday life unfolding on these cobbled streets. People wander in and out of these quaint stone pathways, dressed in simple, traditional clothes. The scene is calm and inviting. A woman, with a kind smile, walks her dog down the street. A group of children, books in hand, walk home from school, chatting merrily as they wave to the woman. As they pass, the children pause to pet the dog, its soft fur making them giggle before they continue on their way. On another street, workers push wooden carts loaded with goods. One vendor, a flower seller, rolls his cart past you. The colorful blossoms, roses, daisies, and violets, fill the air with their sweet, enchanting perfume. As the flowers pass by, their fragrance lingers, weaving through the bustling streets, carried by the light breeze. The vendor eventually arrives at his small shop and pulls the cart inside, preparing to call it a day. Not far behind, the baker prepares for her final delivery of the day, a grand order for the royal palace. With her cart stacked high with freshly baked bread, pastries, and sweet delights, she gently tugs on the reins of her chestnut-brown horses. The sound of their hooves against the cobblestones fills the air as she hums a cheerful tune, waving to familiar faces along the way. As she exits the town, the crowd thins, and the scenery begins to change. The bustling streets give way to peaceful countryside. The air feels fresher here, lighter and cleaner, with the occasional sound of a shepherd's whistle or the bleat of sheep in the distance. A tall forest lines the road, its trees whispering softly in the breeze as the road begins to wind uphill. At the top of the hill, the royal palace comes into view, its towering white walls and delicate pinkish roofs gleaming in the warm light. The grand silver gate stands tall, guarded by two officers in shining purple uniforms. They nod in recognition when they see the baker, offering her a warm greeting and waving her through the gates. Inside the palace grounds, the beauty of the royal gardens unfolds. Lush plants, vibrant flowers, and tall trees stretch toward the sky. In the center, a pristine marble fountain sparkles, water dancing from the elegant statue's mouth into the clear basin below. The grounds are a sanctuary of peace, and the sight of it all takes your breath away. The baker, after making her delivery, greets the kitchen staff, maids in frilly white aprons and lacy hats, who eagerly unload her cart. After exchanging a few pleasantries, she bids them farewell and turns back toward the gate, her cart lighter, now only carrying the empty baskets from her day's work. As evening falls, the once bustling streets quiet down. The staff within the palace kitchen remains at work, unpacking and preparing the evening meal for the royal family. Freshly baked golden loaves of bread sit next to bowls of steaming soup, ready to be served. The scent of the bread mingles with the rich aroma of the soup, a sign that the royal feast is beginning. The food is carefully carried across a vibrant purple carpet, laid down for the royal family's dinner. The kitchen staff enters the grand hall, where the long marble table is already set. It's here that we meet the prince, his mother, the queen, and his father, the king. The royal family, seated around the table, await their meal, their conversations soft and intimate in the vast, majestic hall. As you picture the scene unfolding, you feel the warmth of the royal family's presence, the comfort of the food being prepared, and the elegance of the evening. Every detail, from the golden bread to the royal setting, adds to the atmosphere of this tranquil, yet grand moment. The gentle hum of life continues outside the royal walls, the streets emptying out as the cool evening air settles in. The city, with all its stories, continues its eternal dance between the ancient and the new, where every street corner, every shop, and every face has a tale to tell. And here, in the heart of it all, the lives of these people, from the humble baker to the royal family, intertwine in a story as old as time, carried forward by the simple beauty of daily life and the timeless magic of this ancient city. As the last light fades from the sky, you find yourself lulled by the rhythm of this world, the quiet hum of activity, and the comforting embrace of the evening. You take a deep breath and exhale slowly, letting the peace of this magical place wash over you, knowing that the story continues, just as it always has. The queen is resplendent in her gown of ruby red velvet, and the men wear stylish suits of blue and silver. Each of them is crowned, adorned with jewels of every color, sparkling in the soft light of the evening. The baker's golden rolls are a particular favorite of the royal family, always warmly welcomed at the dinner table. The royal family, however, has their own little ritual when enjoying these rolls. Despite it not being proper table etiquette, they dip their crispy, buttered bread into their soup. It's a simple delight, but it's a moment of indulgence that the royal family shares in the midst of their regal lives. As the family dines, they engage in pleasant conversation, discussing the events of the day, the state of the kingdom, and the latest news from the surrounding provinces. Naturally, their conversation turns toward the subject of marriage, a topic that has often come up during royal meals. The king and queen look to their son, the prince, and ask him if he has found a suitable bride yet. He sighs, looking down at his bowl for a moment before replying, "No, I haven't found the right princess yet." He tells them that he has traveled far and wide, meeting many beautiful, kind, and accomplished women, but none who truly seem like the one for him. Seeing the sadness in his eyes, his mother, the queen, assures him with a soft smile, "Don't worry, my dear. The right person will come along when you least expect it." Her voice is gentle, filled with the wisdom of years. Before anyone can say another word, a rumble of thunder echoes through the palace, shaking the windows and catching everyone's attention. Looking out through the massive windows behind the table, the royal family sees a dark sky filled with deep silver clouds. The atmosphere seems to shift as a flash of white lightning lights up the room, casting a brief, dramatic glow over the grand hall. This is soon followed by the sound of heavy rain pouring down over the thick palace walls and the ground outside. For the royal family, there's something comforting about a storm like this. It's a familiar sound and sight, something they've enjoyed for years. So, as the next few courses are served, there is little conversation, just the sound of soft laughter and the clinking of fine silverware as they savor each bite in the warmth of the castle, enjoying the chaos of the storm outside. Not far from the table, a large fire roars to life in the grand stone hearth, filling the hall with light and warmth. The flames dance, casting flickering shadows on the walls, while the crackling logs add a deep, comforting sound to the room. The warmth from the fire contrasts sharply with the cold, wet outdoors, making the indoors feel even more inviting. By the time dessert arrives, a decadent treacle sponge pudding drenched in golden, hot custard, the royal family's spirits are lifted, their hearts light from the comfort of good food and the beauty of the storm. As the storm begins to die down, the thunder and lightning fade, and the rain turns to a soft, gentle pitter-patter. It taps against the windows, tracing rivulets of water that run down the glass, creating unique patterns of droplets. The king, finished with his pudding, rises from the table and walks to the window. His quiet gaze rests on the sprawling city below, admiring the peaceful beauty of the night, before he is interrupted by the sound of footsteps approaching. The guardsman enters the room, his shoes clicking softly on the marble floor. He informs the king that a princess has arrived at the gates, seeking shelter from the storm. With a gesture of his hand, the king invites the princess inside and offers her his seat beside the warm fire. A servant is called to bring food for the princess, and soon she is sitting with the royal family, sipping the same warm soup they had just enjoyed. The woman who enters is drenched to the bone, her wet hair clinging to her face, and raindrops dripping off her cloak. To the royal family, she looks nothing like the princesses they've met at galas and royal dinners. Those ladies always arrive in shimmering gowns, tiaras adorning their heads, with a retinue of noble relatives in tow. But this woman, despite her messy appearance, displays incredible grace and politeness. She thanks them profusely for their kindness, her voice warm and genuine. As she settles by the fireplace, she dips bread rolls into her soup, just as the royal family had done. She pauses only to comment on how delicious the rolls are and how beautiful the storm was, though she quickly admits she would have preferred watching it from inside the palace. As she dries off by the fire, the princess slowly begins to reveal a more regal air, her beauty and elegance becoming more apparent with each passing moment. The prince watches her closely. Unlike the other princesses he has met during his travels, this woman is not just kind and gracious, but also adventurous. Unafraid to walk through the rain to find shelter, there is something about her that feels different, a spark of authenticity, a warmth that makes her stand out from the others. The queen, however, is not so easily convinced. She is used to seeing princesses at formal events, dressed in their finest gowns, with jewels in their hair and entourages surrounding them. This woman arrived alone, with no tiara, her wet hair unkempt, dripping water onto the palace floors. Though she has all the manners of royalty, the queen isn't sure whether this woman is truly a princess, or if she might be an imposter. To test her claim, the queen comes up with a plan. Later that evening, as everyone relaxes around the fire with hot cocoa and marshmallows, the queen sets a plan into motion. The maids are called upon to collect mattresses from 19 different guest rooms, all to be stacked together in the room where the young woman will sleep. When the queen arrives at the room, she holds a small green pea in her hand and places it in the center of the bed. Then, she instructs the maids to add 19 mattresses on top of the pea, followed by 20 duvets and several fluffy pillows. The resulting bed is so tall that it nearly touches the ceiling. The queen, wanting to ensure the woman cannot climb into the bed without difficulty, calls for a ladder to be placed beside it. With everything set in place, the royal family retires to their rooms, eager for a good night's rest, leaving the princess to sleep in her high bed. When the princess enters the room, she is in awe of the towering stack of mattresses. She counts them, and with a deep breath, climbs up the ladder and crawls into the bed, the luxurious layers enveloping her as she settles down for the night. But her sleep is far from restful. Despite the comfort of the thick duvets, she feels something hard pressing into her back, causing her to wake several times throughout the night. Though she doesn't complain, she feels unrest when morning arrives. Still, she rises with a smile, ready to face the day. She is escorted to a grand bath, the size of a small swimming pool, where she relaxes in the warm, soapy water. The bath rejuvenates her, washing away the weariness from the sleepless night. When she emerges, she finds a beautiful new outfit waiting for her, clean, dry, and perfectly pressed. She puts on a sea blue velvet dress, its silver silk waist tie sparkling in the light. As the maids finish styling her hair, pinning it up with pearl-tipped clips, she looks every bit the princess she is. When she enters the dining hall for breakfast, the royal family is astonished. The woman who had once seemed so unkempt now looks like a true princess. Her presence radiates grace, elegance, and beauty. The queen, taken aback by the transformation, sees that her doubts have been put to rest. As the morning meal is served, the family exchanges glances, realizing that perhaps the true test of royalty isn't found in the appearance of a tiara or gown, but in the warmth of a person's heart and the authenticity of their actions. The princess's true beauty, one of kindness, bravery, and humility, shines brighter than any jewel, and the royal family knows they have witnessed something extraordinary. And so, the princess, who had once been soaked and ragged from the storm, now sits at the royal table with grace, having passed the queen's test. As the meal continues, the family cannot help but smile, for they know that their kingdom is about to be graced with a queen who understands what it means to be royal in the truest sense of the word. As the night deepens and the world outside grows still, let your heart be filled with peace. The soft glow of the moon above, combined with the warmth and comfort of your surroundings, brings a sense of serenity that wraps around you like a cozy blanket. Let go of any remaining worries and allow yourself to feel grounded in the present moment. You are safe, you are calm, and everything is exactly as it should be. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation. Tomorrow will come with new opportunities, but for now, rest and rejuvenate. May your dreams be filled with peace, joy, and gentle moments of love. Sleep well, knowing that you are cared for and cherished. Sweet dreams and good night.